But with pleasure comes what? Higher expectations. We always want more, and we're trying to find a steady flow. And we figure that my expectations are higher, so if I play my cards right, I'm gonna get there. And so we play our hand and realize, man, I just lost. It's not delivering what I dreamed. And what are the results of this deepening personal and societal discontent that you and I are dealing with all the time, this inner angst that's very real? Some people become frantic. They become frantic. This is where we blame our circumstances for our problems. And so if I have a good job, I just need a better job. I just need to make these adjustments, and suddenly, I don't know, life will get better. And so we make those adjustments, and we find ourselves after all we've done to try to change things and get to a better place, that we're at the same level of happiness and discontent as we were beforehand, because we're the same person. We took the new job, we traded in our spouse, we left our job and found something better, we built a bank account, but we're still exhausted and unfulfilled. Some people blame their circumstances or the people around them. Some people become angry. You see this a lot today. There's a lot of anger and rage in society today, and it's linked directly to this, that there's something going on inside people, and they're looking for some target to blame for that, their own discontent. They blame not their circumstances per se, but often social forces. This is the reason I'm unhappy, because of the social structures of this world. And, I just need to be free and pursue certain things. And these people often become partisan or political or even activists because they blame society. There's got to be some reason I'm discontent. So they blame society, and society does have problems. We should 100% seek justice, absolutely. And yet history tells us that when people become free, there's still this sense of personal struggle that has not changed. We have more freedoms in our country than many places in the world, and yet look at the rage and discontent and anger that's growing, proliferating, expanding in our own world today. And this discontent has created a fury, and people look for targets. There's got to be someone to blame. And the target shifts because it's got to be something out there, someone out there that's the scapegoat for my own struggles. Some people become self-hating, and this is a big one and a tragic move today, where people are just like, I'm not going to blame my circumstances. I'm not going to blame society. I'm basically just disappointed in myself. I am a failure. The reason I'm not happy is because of me, because I'm a screw up, because I've not measured up, because I look at other people on Facebook, peers and friends and coworkers, and I measure my life by theirs, and their life is way better. So we think. You get the highlight reel. You compare your real life to the highlight reel, and you're like, hey, I'm not measuring up. And it's like we look at ourselves and say, I'm a failure. I'm not amounting to anything. And we kick into, and this happens to a lot of people today, kind of this self-hate. It happens to a lot of younger people, even like kids 10, 12 years old, teenagers, across the age spectrum, where people are like just giving up. They feel disillusioned. They don't even want to live. Even today, the suicide rate is growing because of people looking at their lives saying, life is not delivering what I hoped for. My life is not matching other people's experiences. And so they feel despair, and they even lose the will to live. And this is tragic. It leads to addictions. It leads to depression. It leads to bad decisions that don't have to happen, but we've made ourselves the target. And we're like, I'm to blame for all of this. And we respond with self-hate to our own discontent. Some people become cynical. C.S. Lewis, in a famous radio talk, says that one of the things that happens when you realize that life is not delivering the satisfaction that you want, despite money, career, all these things, it's like it's not delivering the satisfaction. He says that people become disillusioned, sensible people. They become disillusioned, sensible people. A person who says, well, by the time you get to my age, you've given up chasing rainbows. You're just done with the rainbows. And so Lewis says they repress that part of themselves that used to cry to the moon. And so I'm just going to survive this. I'm just going to get through this. I'm no longer going to seek out joy or fulfillment. And in the process, we kill a part of our own heart. We kill a part of our own potential. We become cynical and disillusioned, and we settle for that. We get set in that and stuck in that, and we never move beyond it. So all these things are ways that people respond to the discontent, the chirping sound in our brains, the chirping sound in the background of our lives. It's like, I should be happy by now. I should have accomplished something. I should have made something of myself. I should be able to look at my life and have peace. And yet, there are so many times we don't, and this is the fallout. But I think there's a way to respond to this discontent in a better way. I think it begins by acknowledging first that pleasure, success, and achievement give us a temporary bump in happiness, but it does not last. Pleasure, joy, happiness, you're going to get a happiness bump. They actually call it that, a happiness bump. So yeah, there's a moment like, whoa, this is good. And we're like, but it fades. It goes away. And we're like, wow. This is a struggle. And you know what? We're actually more susceptible to that than a lot of other people in the world or throughout history. Wealthy societies often struggle the most with discontent. And you know why? Because we have a lot of options. We have money. We have resources. Even if we are like just starting a job or we're just working a part-time job, we have more than most people in the world. We can do more things. We can eat different foods. We can go different places. And so we have lots of options and we can take on a lot of experiences. But with pleasure comes what? Higher expectations. Yeah, so I'm enjoying a hamburger, but now I want something else. And, like we're moving up to lobster. Like all of a sudden, it's like, I don't even like lobster. I need what? It's like, what? We're always raising the bar. We always want more. And we're trying to find a steady flow. And we figure that my expectations are higher. So if I play my cards right, I'm going to get there. And so we play our hand and realize, man, I just lost. It's not delivering what I dreamed. Jonathan Haidt wrote in his book a few years ago, he wrote a book in 2006 called The Happiness Hypothesis. And he concluded that external factors and goods alone cannot deliver happiness. Fascinating book. And he says this, when you get what you want, your brain often raises the bar. It asks, what's next? Happiness is more like a thermostat than a checklist. It actually resets. So you find happiness and you're like, this is great, and it fades away and you're like, oh, I need, what's next? I need something else. I need something more, something bigger, something shinier, something faster, something cooler. It seems also that successful people can also be among the most discontent and despairing people. Successful people have it even worse. Why? Because when you're on your way up, you can live with the illusion that when you get there, you'll be happy. And what does that do? It gives you drive. It gives you energy. It's like, I'm gonna get there. Yeah, I'm not really happy too much right now. It masks what I'm feeling right now, but I got hope. And so this sense of, hey, I got drive to get to this certain place, to work harder, but in that working harder, it masks the moment that we are discontent and unhappy with our lives. But with the illusion of happiness on the horizon, and then inevitably getting there and seeing it crash down, we finally get to the top and realize that everything is right. Everything is right according to my friends. Everything is right according to what the culture says is important to be happy. I'm doing everything right. Everything is right, but I am not right. Something is wrong with me. Something is wrong inside my spirit. I'm still struggling with discontent. Everything should be perfect. Society told me that. If I achieve this goal, I've arrived. It's the pinnacle moment. And yet, when I don't see it delivered, I feel deeper discontent and angst in my spirit. The theologian Jim Carrey, thank you for noting that. The actor Jim Carrey says this: I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything that they dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer. What? Wait a minute, we want to be you, dude. You're on the big screen. You got all kinds of fans. You got bank, man. You made bank. You got all the money. You will never spend all your money. And he goes, I got there, and it let me down. It was not the answer. And so, why doesn't a change in circumstance guarantee happiness? There was a poet, one of the most famous Roman poets, one of the greatest Roman poets of all time was a man named Horace. And this is a guy who had very humble beginnings. He was a rags to riches guy. He has this story, it's amazing. And I'd love to tell it sometime a little bit more because it relates so much to my life and to your life as well. And his journey was one of trying to find contentment. He started off very humbly, but in the process, over time, because of his brilliance, he reached the point of being in the world's elite at the time. And so this man had a lot going on. He was very successful. He went on a journey, though, to find contentment because despite his wealth, despite his literary achievements, despite this beautiful farm that he was given, phenomenal home. He had the best estate and the best home. Despite all these things, he struggled. And he said this, and it's very powerful, and I want you to think about it. He says, though you cross the sea, you cannot cross yourself. A change of sky is not a change of soul. A change of sky is not a change of soul. You see, you can change your sky. You can change your circumstances. You can change your situation. You can change your status. You can change your situation in life at home. You can change out your car. You can change your clothes. You can change out your career. There's lots of things. You can change your bank account, make some more money, do a bunch of side hustles. You can change all those things, but there's still something deeper in you that these things do not address. And you can kind of go into this. You can take in new sky, Colorado. Take in some new sky, big sky, Colorado, nah, Costa Rica. We're doing Costa Rica, and you're like, not Costa Rica. No, we're doing Aruba. Take in Aruba. We don't like Aruba. We want Antarctica. Let's do Antarctica. So we can change our sky. We could do all those things. But here is the thing. When you change your setting, you are still the same person with the same soul needs. You're still the same person, just in a different location. A change of sky is not an answer to that sense of discontent. It may give you a bump in happiness. It might, but it will not solve the puzzle of your own spirit, the puzzle of your own soul. And so if you're pursuing pleasure as the answer to your discontent and dissatisfaction, you know in an honest moment, as I do, it does not work. But here's the good news. There is a better way to move forward with that chirping sound in our brain. See, we're people not just with bodies that desire pleasure. We're people that have a bigger part of us under the waterline. We're paying attention to the smallest part of who we are, our physical selves. Yes, we should pay attention to that, 100%. But the bigger part of us is actually under the waterline. Are we paying attention to our spirit and our soul? Because it has a gigantic impact on our level of peace, joy, and satisfaction. In fact, it's interesting that we come to this breakthrough moment, I think, where there is this desire to find happiness, uncertainty as to where to turn. And then the breakthrough happens when we realize that if we thirst for God first and most, all the other things, they actually fall in place and they mean a lot more. Psalm 42 says, as the deer pants for the water brooks, so my soul pants for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? Why are you in despair, O my soul? Why have you become disturbed within me? Hope in God, for I will yet praise him. I think what we see here is this, that we are at our best when we pay attention to our soul and when we thirst for God, when we make him our priority and not the fleeting things of the world. We're actually at our best when we recognize we are more than physical beings seeking physical material pleasures, that there is beneath the waterline the bigger part of who you are, and you can't shake it. Solomon couldn't find answers without looking below the waterline, and neither will we. And so there's this sense like, what are we looking to for satisfaction? See, pleasure is designed to point us to the goodness of God. We should enjoy it, but it is not an end in itself. And pleasure cannot and will not ever replace God. It was not designed for that purpose.